Hi. The year is 1884, but the history is not our own. The folks back east think that what I'm about to say is all tall tales, created by podunk newspapers trying to scare up business, but you and I, we know better. Something changed back in 63, when the great earthquake shattered the California coast into the sea, and them dead boys at Gettysburg got back up and started eating folk. We knew then that something had changed, that something had made the world a little darker, made the distance between towns a little further, made the winters and a man's soul a little colder. Some call it the reckoning. Not that folk talk about it, mind you, not by the light of day. Folks tend to laugh that stuff off and call it humbug. But when the twilight starts creeping, they quietly lock their doors, all the same. You see, something evil is growing in the wide open spaces of the West, something born of mankind's darkest, deepest fears given life. So I advise you to kindly gather round this here fire. Not only will it keep you warm, but out here in the weird West, even the shadows have teeth. Welcome to Deadlands.
Hey!
Welcome!
Hey!
Howdy.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Cheyenne Wright, and I'm your Marshal for the evening. And welcome to this little tale called Deadlands: The Hellgate Trilogy, Episode 1. I'm gonna go around the clock here and introduce you to all my players. Starting up in the top left, we got playing Bob Morrow. Say hello there. Tell us who you are in real life, not the
Hello.
character.
Certainly. Hello, chat. I am Bizarre Hands. My pronouns are he, him. I'm joining you today from Treaty 4 territory, the original lands of the Cree, Soto, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, as well as the homelands of the Métis. I will be playing Bob Morrow today. I don't know if you want me to dig into more information about him or just talk about myself.
No, just name's good enough. We'll learn the rest about it in the play.
Very well.
So going around the clock, we got playing Jaemison, Jim Freeman. Who are you?
Hi, everybody. My name is Candace, also known as Candace the Magnificent. Like Cheyenne said, I am playing Jaemison Jem Freeman. And you guys can find me on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Instagram at Candace the Magnificent, all one word, and at That Candace Girl on Twitter. Oh, and my pronouns, she, they. Nice to meet everybody.
All right. Clicking on down the clock, we go to Clayton R. MacTaggart, played by...
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan Howard, the host and founder of Rollin' Bones with Ryan Howard. You can find me here on Twitch at Rollin' Bones Ryan, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Howard_Ryan Greg. And I'm playing Clayton R. MacTaggart.
And lastly, but certainly not leastly, we come around the clock to Amadeaus Amy Haddock.
Hello, folks. Todd Moonbounce here. Creator, collector, guitar player, dog lover, and fellow dungeon master as well. I'm also one half of the Dungeon Jedi Masters, a podcast and more, discussing everything about the Star Wars 5th edition system. And tonight, in this lovely game, I'll be playing Amadeaus Amy Haddock. Very much looking forward to it.
All right. So, for you folks at home who don't know exactly how this game works, This is Savage World. This is Deadlands, powered by Savage Worlds. If you've never played Savage Worlds before, it's very simple. It is a skill-based, trait-based system where we use varying sizes of dice to indicate how good a person is or how much natural talent they have at a particular task or subject. So someone who has very little training might roll a d4. Someone who, and then it goes up to d6, d8, d10, d12 for someone who's like super amazing at whatever it is that they do. When I ask for a skill check, basically all you need to do is roll a 4 or better, but I might apply penalties based on how difficult that thing is. If you fail, there's a chance that you can spend a penny to roll again, tempt the fates, and see if you can get a better roll. Bennies can also be used to buy off damage, by soaking your wounds, or to change some fundamental little aspect of the adventure by throwing in a little twist, even for the GM. Everyone starts with 3 bennies and can earn more by role playing their hindrances, which they chose all before during character creation here in the pre-show things we did for the past couple of weeks. I've been practicing all this sort of stuff. Sorry, I'm stumbling a little bit. We had all sorts of technical issues, threw me off a little bit here.
Oh, did we ever?
Oh yes, it was weird. It's like the Foundry software just decided to just not want to roll dice anymore, or open menus or anything, right? 5 minutes before we went live, and that was the thing. So we're going to be rolling the actual dice here at the table tonight for the most part, at least for all the folks over there. So you won't see our fine of exploding dice going across the screen, but you'll still hear us getting excited about it, I hope. Now, you folks at home, who I collectively call the hunting grounds, can get in on the action as well. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen some flashing red chips. Those are called victory tokens. They're channel points you can spend to help out the posse. The more you watch and engage, the faster you earn. And if you subscribe, you earn them twice as fast. Throw us 1,000 points and it gives the posse a +1 to add to any roll they make. Yeah, but those pluses go away at the end of the show. All tokens are forfeited back to the Manitus. Also, you can throw some cold hard cash if you like to help our heroes out in a big way. See those flashing silver Marshal badges down at the bottom of the screen? Every gift sub on donations and increments of 500 bits give our heroes a Benny that any one of them can use at any time. Want to donate multiple Bennies? Then just throw in 1,000 bits for 2 Bennies, 1,500 for 3, because that's how math works. All right, so that said, we are now ready to begin. All right, so settling back, I take you back once again, to 1884, Montana Territory, the waning years of the Old West, and the final frontier of the Americas. Up here in the mountains, in the Rockies, it's about as far away you can get from civilization. 3 riders pulling up to a small campsite, looking to get off their horses and get some fire going, set up some tents. They're about a day's out from Missoula. So, who is going to set up that campsite? Going around the clock? Whose turn is it? Anyone?
Oh, hell, I'll set it up.
All right. So, Clayton, as the first one to speak, describe what your character looks like as he goes around setting up the campsite.
So Clayton is a tall, kind of rangy fella. He's about 6 foot tall, hawkish features, about 4-day scruff on his face. He's carrying 2 pistols and he's wearing a duster. He has the look of just kind of your average gunslinger about him. Definitely someone who, if he walked into a saloon, people would kind of look away from him, like, I don't want any trouble. Don't do anything to me.
All right. So, and you start busting out the tents and getting a campfire up and running.
Yep, you lazy bastards. I'll set it up.
You haven't given me a chance to help out yet, Clayton. All you got to do was ask.
Knew I could count on you, Amy. Come on over here, help me out.
So, Amy, how did you happen to? Well, actually, let's go to Jaemison. Well, no, Amy. Amy spoke next. So, Amy, why don't you describe what your character looks like and how he hooked up with this Clayton fellow?
So, Amy is slim build, younger looking, and an overall innocent look, but there's definitely something heavy that he carries in his eyes there. Pretty plain get up, light shirt, vest, neckerchief, and dusty light brown hat. He also would have generally is going to have his guitar, his 6-string, on his back if it's not in front of him as he plucks those strings, and also his trusty Winchester as well. They're going to be his two pieces of equipment that he's going to most hang on to.
All right.
I ran into Mr. MacTaggart over in the Dakotas, I believe it was. I was just out trying to make sense of some things in my own life, and just kind of happened to run into each other.
All right. And the third member of the posse so far. What is Jaemison doing as these two are setting up camp?
Jaemison considers himself to be somebody who is like a veteran of all of this. He's not super impressed with these two young'uns that are trying to set up this camp, despite the fact that they're about the same age, about 28. Jaemison has locks with kind of white streaks on the sides. About 5'10", handsome, very attractive face. But tough and not really too excited to be doing grunt work. So I imagine that Jem would be trying to set up a fire for everybody.
And when exactly did you join up with these two?
I want to say relatively recently. Jem is kind of a wanderer. He kind of has been all over the country, an ex-Buffalo soldier, so he knows the terrain pretty well. So I would say probably fairly recently, like probably the last stop that they made is when Jem decided to follow these interesting folk for a while.
All right. So I'm going to have Jaemison, I want you to give me a persuasion roll.
Okay.
This is going to be opposed by Haddock's notice.
Oof. I'm not starting out strong. Is it too early to spend a penny?
No, it's never too early to spend a penny.
Here we go.
Sounds like you got something to hide.
You're setting the target number here, Jem.
4.
4. Okay. All right. Well, that's a something. All right. So Haddock, give me that roll.
Ooh, I got 2 6s, so they're both are gonna explode.
Oh no.
For a total best number of an 8. So that'll be
8. Oh, that is a
raise, I
hit and a
believe.
raise. Yeah. So when Jaemison stepped up, met you guys on the road and the trail, there was something mighty familiar almost immediately for you with Jaemison. It took you just a little time to figure it out, but in the past couple of days, as he's been riding with you, you think you put your finger on it. Jaemison from when you were a little kid, and you know also that Jaemison's hiding something this mighty fierce, but you haven't let slip just yet. And
Clayton, you're doing mighty fine job there. I'll be right back. Jem, give me a hand over here.
Yeah, all right. So I go over there. I have a feeling I know what he wants to talk about.
He's been giving you some weird looks the past couple of days, and you were kind of worried that he may remember you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just kind of off to the side, quietly lean in and just give him a look that tries to imply, initially without words, of are you who I think you are, and do you remember me? And then just kind of quietly whisper, Jem?
Little Amy? Nice to see you after all these years.
Likewise. I think we got some catching up to do, eh?
I'd say so. I can still trust you, right? You're still my friend from back home?
Absolutely.
Thanks, kid.
All right.
And I just head back to the camp.
As those are off talking, collecting firewood, whatever it is they're doing, Clayton, why don't you give me yourself a notice roll?
Alrighty, let's see. Oh, I am also off to a great start. That is a 2.
Okay, all right. So, so you're pretty focused on the work you're doing right now, and that's why you don't notice that a figure has kind of approached the ring of the fire you've got lit up, and you've gotten so close, in fact, at this point that were you not to announce yourself, someone would certainly mistake you for an ambusher. So, Morrow, you policy of the Old West and code of honor and all that is perhaps you should say something.
I think Bob clears his throat and calls out, Mr. MacTaggart, I am to understand you are headed to Missoula? And then steps closer to the fire. As the light from the flickering flames illuminates his face, you recognize a man that is probably 10 years older than the last time you saw him when he was convalescing in Arkansas. But he still sports that same mustache and a goatee and that rather upright. His clothing and equipment belies perhaps an ex-military background. And you see him, rather than holding any sort of weapon out towards you, just a deck of cards that he's shuffling between his hands, and he proffers them up, sort of offering a chance at poker around this campfire. It's a long way to Missoula.
As soon as I hear my name, I immediately, I imagine, carrying like a bundle of firewood or something, immediately drop that, turn around, and come face to face with you with both my guns drawn.
Right.
And immediately, as soon as I see you, just like spin them and put them away and go, well, I'll be damned. Morrow, if you'd been anyone else, you'd be a dead man right now.
MacTaggart, you didn't tell us we'd be having visitors.
Hell, if I knew we'd be having visitors, I wouldn't have tried to shoot the bastard.
Jem just sort of sits back and watches it all go down.
All right.
And Bob steps forward and tucks those cards away and greets you with a warm handshake.
Absolutely, I'll reciprocate. I'll let you introduce yourself, Morrow. I don't know what you're going by these days, and I don't want to blow your cover for our friends here.
Oh, there is no cover. Just Bob Morrow. Bob makes eye contact with both Jem and Amy, nods, and offers his hand as well, and sort of takes up a place around the campfire. He's already tied up what looks to be an old mare close by, and he's fixing to make a meal around this campfire already.
Amy, this is the Canuck I was telling you about earlier.
Well, there's a long and awkward pause. And I'm going to have everybody make a spirit check to see who can't stand it any longer, breaks and starts talking about anything, something, anything. So spirit rolls all around.
Let's see.
So Bob's got a D6 spirit.
I got a
Exploding
5.
on a 6.
4 for
3
Amy.
to an 8.
So who got the low roll there?
I got a 3, so it's probably me.
Yeah, okay. All right, so 3 for you then. All right, so in that case, I'm going to real quickly here bring it up. So we're going to do, I'm going to throw you into the deep end here, and you're going to give us a quick little interlude. You're going to tell us a story about you and Morrow and how you guys met.
Well, so last time I saw you, Morrow, I believe you were still on the run from the Mounties up north. Is that right by your recollection?
The look of fear. How does Morrow react to that?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a jaw dropping, and he suggests that on the run is a little bit of an intense description, but I had left their service and decided to employ myself otherwise.
Amy will
But,
snap out of his focus that caught him when Clayton had tried an introduction earlier, as he is sighted down his rifle at this intruder initially, and pulled back off of that finally now and has relaxed to listen in.
Well, as I'm sure Amy
I think
here
that's
will tell you
reflected in Bob's.
I'm sorry.
Bob relaxes a little bit as that rifle goes away, the same way he did as Clayton put away his two guns. Once he set aside those irons, he relaxed a little bit. He's relaxing a little bit more.
As I'm sure Amy here can attest, and I can certainly tell you, the Dakota Territory is not for the faint of heart. And when I first ran into Morrow, it was, how many guns were you down to at that point? Was it just one that was still working when I told you to stop pulling the trigger? Otherwise, it was just going to come apart in your hand?
One functional, though I'm not sure I had any ammunition actually in chamber.
Hard lesson. Something everyone's got to learn before they head into the Dakotas. But you made it out.
Thanks to you, of course.
I did what I could. We all did. Those boys didn't make it much longer after that.
Sorry to hear that. They were some good men.
Well,
Lost them when we went back to Dodge.
and with that natural loquaciousness, the four of you kind of fall into a silence as you stare at the fire. I'm assuming at some point you guys work up the muscles to pick someone to take a watch and take turns through the night till there's enough light to start riding again.
Amy picks up his guitar and strums a little tune by the fire as we're getting settled in. It's definitely more somber and sad of a feel, and says, I'll keep an eye out first. Don't worry. I'll put the 6 string away when you guys are sleeping.
All right. Well, the evening passes uneventfully. And come morning, as the sun rises, you guys are rolling up your packs and re-outfitting your horses and getting ready to make the ride down into through Hellgate Pass and into Missoula proper. I'm going to give Amy and Jim, as they are Hellgate residents from old, a common knowledge roll.
Five.
2.
Okay. Amy may have heard these stories Jim may have heard these stories growing up, but your years in service and traveling around the world, you kind of put all that behind you. Amy cannot claim that luxury. And he remembers every story about Hellgate and the whole area. He remembers it every time he closes his eyes and tries to bed down for sleep. Last night was not necessarily any more restful than the nights previous. The same nightmares returned. The screaming, the blood, the clawed hands reaching out towards you. By the light of day, you can shrug it off as childhood horror stories. Probably like the ones that were told to you about the Hellgate Pass. About how the first French trappers who came through here back in 1820 said they didn't want to go through that particular pass in the mountains because it looked like the gates of hell. The floor of the forest covered with human bones. Staring up, skinless, grinning from within the dirt. That sort of imagery sticks to the kid when he hears those tales, and now here you are 20 years later riding back between those same two wooded mountains back to the place you swore you would never return to.
It's been a while. Wish I could have kept it that way. Go a little longer.
I ain't been out here before, Amy. What should I be looking for?
Anything and everything. This place ain't no good. And he's, I'd say it's pretty obvious. Clayton and I, enough history, regardless of the length of time, that you'd recognize an outward change in my demeanor. Focused, but also a naturally very cautious person anyway. Comes out even more, and you can sense maybe a quiver on his voice.
All right. So, as you navigate, things have changed since you've been here last. The trail is actually not as sparse and hard to follow as it used to be. The Iron Dragon Railroad has come through in the last year. They leveled large sections of the woods, but put down trestles and rail lines. Took what used to be a simple cart road called the Mullins Road that people used to use to head out to the west to like Washington and Oregon and that sort of thing, and turned it into a high-speed thoroughfare that can move tens of people miles an hour.
Whew.
It is truly the future. You follow you follow those tracks a little bit until you come cresting through the imposing peaks of Hellgate Pass, which seem to lean over you as you ride down and into the valley that opens up beyond. And you can see the thriving town of Missoula. Missoula wasn't this even just 1 year ago before the railroad came through. It was little more than a couple of water mills, a couple of water-powered flour mills, and maybe a lumberjack's camp. But now the spread out before you, you can see they've platted out the huge future of roads. Most of the lots are still empty, but a large section of them are clustered up against the riverbank of the Hellgate River, right across from a double trestled bridge which stretches across the river and is supported by on the muddy banks of an island centered in the middle of it. As you ride up to the trestle bridge, you can see several teepees from Salish Indian tribes camped out on the island in between the southern bank and the northern bank. They're digging in the mud there along the river for some sort of plant. Give me a survival check if you are curious to if you might know what it is.
7.
2.
3.
Okay. All right. Well, you were taught this by your grandmother and your mother, Jaemison. The tribes that lived in these valleys have a particular liking to this small white pink flower that grows along the riverbanks. They tell a tale about it, about how an Indian woman feared that their children were gonna starve because there was no food, began to cry and sing the death song. And her tears, as they rolled down her cheeks, landed into the soft soil by the river, and a flower sprouted up from it. And when they dug out the flower, the root inside was thick and meaty, and they found that they could grind it up and mix it with some water and make sort of a nutritious jelly paste out of it. This herb grows up and down the valley, and in fact is actually given the entire valley its name, the Bitterroot Valley. And it's good to see that the tribes are still, that at least some tribes are still able to move freely in these parts, collecting their food of choice. Now, at least that most of the bison are gone, at least. You ride across the trestle. As you cross over the island, you can look down and see the tribes. They don't seem to take notice of your passing. It's like you're looking off the edge of a bridge into another time. And to them, you feel the way they move about and give you no attention whatsoever. It's like it leaves you with a feeling of being a ghost here in the place where you were from. You reach the second trestle and you enter the city, the town proper. This was Higgins Bridge. It's, as you can make out from a small sign placard from when it was dedicated some time ago. Immediately to your right is the old flour mill, which you remember from before you left. This is Higgins Road, and crossing right the intersection, the first one you come to is Front Street. The four of you take a stop there on the corner of Higgins and Front Street, and you're faced with a decision of what to do next.
Place sure has grown up.
Give me notice rolls, everybody.
Four.
10.
Nice.
5.
3.
Okay. All right. So with a 10, that's a hit and a raise. So you know this, most certainly, Jem, that the north end of Front Street is the bad side of town. As you look up at in the cluster of buildings up there, there's at least 10 saloons that you can make out before the road curves at the next block. If you're looking to put a little spring in your step, you turn left here and hit one of those saloons. To the south side of Front Street, well, that's where all the mercantile business is getting done. There's a livery down there where you can stable the horses and get them properly taken care of. And that's where the more pricey lodgings can be found. You can relay this information to your compatriots.
So I basically look at everybody and I let them know. So if you all want to go ahead and board up them horses, get everybody a nice bed to sleep in, you're gonna head out south. And I give them kind of point to the saloon. But I'm gonna go head up and get some libations in me before we start the rest of our day.
What time of day is it, Marshal?
Well, let's say it's about 2 in the afternoon. You spent most of the day riding through the pass to get here. You still got a couple hours before nightfall. But it sounds like that don't mean nothing to the people on the north side of Front Street. You can already hear the drinking and the hooting and the hollering.
I think a little whiskey will do me some good too. I'm heading with you, Jim.
All right, so
don't leave us hanging.
all right, so do you guys all just head north, or does somebody take?
If Bob can gather up all 4 horses, I think he might head south. Find a livery, get them established, get them properly watered and fed, and if there's time after that, then he might head north to find the Mr. MacTaggart. But I think he's seeing to the horses first.
Okay, so why don't you say that to them?
All right. How about I catch you up? I don't know about your steeds, but this one could use a healthy watering and a whole lot of feed. I reckon I can find you north of Front, and well, if I can't, you can find me and your horses to the south.
Our
Sounds good
horses?
to me, man.
Anything
Thanks
I need
so
to
much.
know about these horses?
Moonlight's a pretty good girl.
I'll tell you on the way. I think I'll come along with you, Mr. Morrow.
All right. That leaves us 1 horse in each hand. That I appreciate the help.
I hand the reins to Amy, and I say, "Take care of my best girl."
And Snake Eyes here shouldn't do you any harm.
All right. Bob pets Snake Eyes on the side and holds them wide from his horse, but leads it on south, I think.
All right, so Bob and Amy head south with the horses to stable them up, and Clayton and Jem head north, looking for one of many options of saloons to check themselves into. So with that, so many options, what sort of saloon are you looking for? Are you looking for a gambling house kind of saloon? You looking for a um, something like a couple of them advertise billiards. There's a few other places here that aren't saloons. There's like a place where you can get a bath and a barber shop where you can get shaved, trimmed, that sort of thing. You see a few like small gear places here where you can get new reins and new tack and stuff like that for your horse. But for the most part, what you find up here, a couple of restaurants, a couple of chop shops as they call them, basically where they can make they make a big batch of food, almost buffet style, and then you pay $2 and you get whatever they have on the menu. What are you looking for? You looking
I'm
for
looking
pricey?
for a
You looking for cheap?
saloon. I'm looking for a saloon anywhere in there that has a real pretty girl in the front.
Okay, give me notice.
There's like a pretty girl, hanging from the rafters or in the front door. She convinced me to come on in. 3.
All right, so you start looking around. You wander into a couple of them, and most of these places seem kind of small and cramped, and they don't really provide much in the way of dance floor for a saloon girl to exercise her wares necessarily. Um, so you have to do a little bit more looking around.
Okay.
Clayton, you got a preference? Anything you're going to pull for?
Oh, just a cold drink and maybe a hot meal.
All right, looking for some food.
Yep.
Well, right there on the first corner was definitely a big old fancy looking restaurant. You're not sure how pricey that'll be, but it is listed as it's called Delmonico's, and it's some sort of hotel with a saloon built into it. And give me a notice roll.
Okay. We're looking at a 5.
All right. So that pretty girl that Jim's always kind of keeping an eye out for, you spot one in there, certainly, through the window of Delmonico's.
Yeah, so I'll nudge Jim and I'll go. What do you think of the fare over at Delmonico's? And I'll point very specifically to the pretty girl that I spotted.
That looks like a nice piece of short round there. But how pricey do you think that establishment is?
Let's see. Did you say it was a kind of like moderate restaurant? Was that what we were looking at there?
It's pretty big establishment. You can kind of gauge how much a place is going to cost by just how much space they've got dedicated to it. This is like all three things combined. It's a restaurant and a saloon and a hotel. So yeah, you'll probably pay more than some cheap flop house, but you'll also might not have to share a room with 3 other people.
So Jem takes a look at it and says, I'm feeling a mite fancy. We've been on the road for quite some time. Maybe now is a good time for us to kind of just sit back and relax and take in all this city has to offer. And I wink at the girl.
Well, I like the sound of that. Let's go.
All right, you make your way into Delmonico's. As right around the time Amy and Amy and Morrow get down to the livery at the end of the next block with the horses. Fellow's kind of sitting there chewing on a piece of like old. You're not sure if it's a piece of leather tack or just some like jerky. It's kind of hard to tell. It's just kind of wet and leathery. And as he walks up and he goes, you need someone to take care of them their horses for you?
No, he's just here to show him off.
Oh.
Yes, we need someone to take care.
Oh, well, you know what? I can help you out with that. The feller who runs this here place, he stepped out to take care of, take somebody's horses over to him. I said I'd watch the place for him. You see this man looks a bit well-lived. Kind of a scraggy beard. A really dusty, dirty coat of a strangely military style, but any badges or patches or identifying markers are long since de-threaded and fallen off. But it's definitely a deep and dark blue in color.
I'll definitely kind of squint my eyes towards him when he mentions that he's looking over the place, and try and get a feel for validity in that statement.
Give me a
And that
notice roll.
Okay.
Would it be fair to provide assistance for that or support, or
Yeah, sure.
just leave it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't tell me what you rolled just yet. Let's see what how Morrow what he picks up.
Okay.
on that.
My wild die exploded for a 10.
A 10. Oh, that's
Nice.
+2 to your roll there.
Okay. Well, my wild die also exploded, and I had an 8, so 10 overall.
Oh, 10. So yeah, that is definitely a hit and a raise then. You get the impression, well, actually, it's not even an impression. You get this strong, the wind changes and you get this strong gust of whiskey kind of washes over you from this gentleman. But he appears to be sincere in that he will take in the horses and see to them in exchange for some portion of the money that you're going to put down in order to have them housed here, and then he'll go find a place or a bottle to crawl into with it.
I just kind of still very reserved about the situation.
He goes, "Ha!" He dusts his hands off of the coat, and you're not sure it really does the job that he thinks it does. In the sense that more dust seems to come off the coat and onto his hand as he does it.
Yeah.
It more cleans the coat than cleans his hand. Then he sticks out the hand and he says, "My name's Major. Well, folks call me Major. My name's, Owen. But folks around here call me Major."
I think
Good to meet you, Major.
Bob takes his hand and before introducing himself, introduces the horses. He says, "This is Snake Eyes.
Oh,
This is Moonbeam. This is Panakamita."
Panakamita.
Now, what
This
are
is
the names
Pylon.
again?
Moonbeam, Snake Bite,
Snake Eyes.
Snake. Oh, yeah, I was testing you. Yeah, Snake Eyes and Pawnee Kamita.
Pylon is the last one. Now, they're all
Yes.
good horses,
You see,
but they expect good treatment.
he. Certainly, yeah, I can do that. I'll show you. I'm real good at horses. Used to take care of them all. Back in the day.
You used to or you do?
Well, I'm just watching the place now, but I'm saying before my current predicament, I was very accustomed to dealing with horses.
When is your
What might the specifics of that predicament be?
Well, I am currently in between establishments.
when is the proprietor of this establishment going to make his return?
Oh, Lucas, he said he just, keep an eye on the horses, make sure nobody ran off with them. And I figure if he comes back and he's got a few extra horses, I've done him a favor, right?
We're not looking for you to do him a favor. We're looking you do for us a favor.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I'll be doing you a favor. I'll be doing Lucas a favor. Everybody's a win. Otherwise, you're going to be left standing here waiting when you could be relaxing, right? And, I got all day. I ain't got nowhere I got to be.
Not in too much of a hurry myself there, Major Owen. And
All right.
if my dear pylon is not in good hands, then relaxing's the last thing I'm going to be doing. So I need some assurances that her and the rest of our steeds here will be taken care of proper.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll give you my word. There something else you want me to do? Swear on a Bible or something?
Can I feel him out a little bit more as despite his, he said his.
How about if you don't trust, you can let me just start getting these horses unburdened and cooled off while you decide about my trustworthy nature.
I run a light credit check on him.
And with your willing, he starts bringing the horses into the livery and starts basically unhitching them and stuff like that. Give me notice rolls as he does this.
Okay.
Could I sub in riding for notice just to see what kind of job
sure.
he's doing? Okay.
Yeah.
5.
Okay, you wouldn't notice, right?
Also
I
a 5.
notice.
Yep.
Okay.
5 with riding.
Yeah. With riding, you see that he's really good at doing all this, disassembling the gear on the horse and setting it up on the fence post there along the livery. He walks them in. He finds them some good fresh hay and throws it all into a little trough there for them. Starts brushing one down and when it's one of them appears a little skittish, he kind of leans in real close in a very odorous whiskey breath. Amy, you hear him say something, and it seems so soothing. You don't understand the words because it's not English, but the horse seems to calm the horse down almost immediately. And Morrow, because of your many dealings with the various tribes, it is almost an unaccented bit of Indian. Would you get on your well, no, you didn't roll notice.
It was a 5 for riding.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
not noticed.
It wasn't noticed. So you hear it, but you weren't prepared for it enough to make a translation. But it seems to soothe the horse.
Okay.
It seems to soothe the horse, and he looks and he kind of looks back at you with this beaming from ear to ear with a big grin and then you see his teeth and you're like, oh, I kind of wish I hadn't seen that.
I think that maybe suggests a sort of shared look of understanding between Bob and Amy of like, all right, this might actually work. Poor oral hygiene aside, this is the steeds are probably safe and well looked after here.
Before you leave, he does go searching around. He goes, but before you take off, I know Mr. Lucas, he likes folks to give them their name on whose horses belong to who. So in case you ever come back up, he knows you're not funning on him. He looks around, so he's like, and he kind of starts digging through some papers in a little apple box, and he pulls out something and says, this looks clean. You want to write it down? Can you write, sons?
Can you, Major?
Well, I guess I can. Can't really lead a wagon train if you don't know how to read a map.
Reading and writing are a little different.
Well, I can write just as well as I can read.
I just kind of reach out, say no more, and reach out towards the paper.
But I don't know your names. So normally it's a quarter a day to stable these horses. How long were you planning on being in the fine town of Missoula?
That depends about how many problems we find here, isn't it?
Or how quick we can solve the problems we have.
Well, you got 4 horses, and so that would be $1 for the day.
Well, you got arithmetic as well as your reading and writing. Major,
Well-
you might have a future with us.
Well, I heard that one before. I do have a mighty sort of personality that folks tend to take notice of. Can't really say it's won me any admirers for a while. Look,
Not yet.
a strange, distant look comes over his face. And for a moment, his demeanor just seems to change, like he just remembered something. He goes, of course, an extra 2 bits could go a long way to helping an old man sleep at night.
I'll turn to Bob.
That's an easy ask. I'll flip him $2.
Oh, you're stabling for 2 days?
Just tonight, but you look after our horses, right?
Oh yes, sir. I most certainly will, sir. Yeah, you bet on it. You need anything, you just ask the old major, okay?
They'll let you know if they need anything.
All right.
See if you can't rustle up some carrots.
Oh yeah, I know just the feller. I'll do that. You rest assured, sirs. Your horses are in fine hands. And you see him walk over to take the bill where you wrote down your names, and he folds it up with one of the dollars, and then kind of holds the other dollar, tucks it into his shirt.
I hadn't reciprocated his handshake previous, but this time, as we kind of make our way out, I'll reach back out for a handshake and kind of pull in and just say, Major, we're putting a lot of trust in you with these steeds.
Oh, I understand. A man's horse is his castle.
I have faith in you. Do us proud.
Well, all right. I will, sir. Most certainly.
And I'll let go of the handshake at that moment and kind of take a longing look back as we leave. And then, head out.
All right. Meanwhile, jumping back over to the Delmonico as you walk in, we're gonna jump over the rough early. You're finding a table, sitting down, getting something to eat. Is that the first thing you go for, or something to drink?
So the first
Something to drink for me.
Yeah, the first thing I do, I ask for a shot of whiskey and a cigar, and then I'm actually going to go out on the front porch and wait for our friends to come by.
All right, and Jim.
I ask for a double at the bar as I kind of just glance over at the girl, trying to play hard to get.
All right, play hard to get with a persuasion roll.
Happy hunting.
Oh, deplorable. I'm gonna spend a penny.
Is that number 2 already?
That's number 2.
Yeah,
There we go.
that's number 2. Hopefully, nothing bad will happen. Ooh. Ooh.
But I think we've got Benny's courtesy of the Happy Hunting Grounds that we need to use up before the end of the show, so it's not such a bad idea.
9.
So that's that. So 9 on your second roll. Ooh, a
Yes.
success and a raise. All right. Good to know that. Yeah, let's say. So, what was that there? Big voice in the hunting grounds. 7 bennies and 4 +1s that you guys can use at any point. So let me just make sure if I can.
To
add that
Bob's
into the-
point, do those ones carry over, or those?
I'm told the bennies carry over, the +1s do not.
Okay.
So you got to use up those +1s before the night's over. All right, and got a whole mess of them at the moment. Okay, so you play hard to get out there, or in there rather, at Delmonico's. The bartender pours the drink for you and kind of like looks at you the way you're intently not looking at the girl. Kind of like his eyes narrow a little bit, and he gives me a smile. He gives you a smile, and he says, "Name's Annie." And he walks away.
Okay. I take a look back at her, and I gather my whiskey, and I smile and I walk out to join Clayton.
When you give her that smile, it looks like she was expecting you to stop and say something, and as you walk away, she's like, "Huh."
Yeah.
You make it out onto the front porch. You're waiting for about 5-10 minutes before you see the other two of your group come walking up the street. There's all sorts of shenanigans going on right now as you kind of like people watching in that meantime. You share any sort of a conversation between you and Clayton as you're standing there?
I look at Clayton and I'm like, kind of a little shit town, huh?
Yeah. Certainly seen bigger ones, but I've also seen worse.
Yep, I reckon I've seen worse. And I take a sip. Just having man chat, you know.
Are you laying the bait, or is this what happens after you've fired all your bullets, so to say?
Oh no, my friend. This is the beginning of the game.
All right. Well then, give me notice rolls as you guys are leaning up there against the wall, waiting for the other half of your riding team to come strolling back up the road.
4 for me.
3 and a 4. Yeah, there's a lot of hustle and bustle going on. You're seeing a lot of people, big, barrel-chested, full-bearded men, kind of heading to one particular saloon a little further up the street called the Blackjack. It looks like a real rough and tumble place. And there's drinking songs bellowing out of it. Real noisy kind of spot, and you're kind of glad that you chose the Delmonico instead between the two.
This is a timber town, right?
That's what you've been told. Yeah.
Gotcha.
and give me a common knowledge roll.
Me too.
Yeah, sure.
5.
How'd you
I
do?
would like to add one of my +1s.
Okay. All right. Take one of those +1s, and what did you give it that? 4. All right. You make a brief conversation about what you see, and you both are confirmed that the term blackjack actually is a lumber term. Refers to a particular kind of young pine tree. Before they get real big, when they're cutting down the fresh young growth pine tree, it's called a blackjack, and that appears to be a lumberjack bar. The sort of place where if you don't wield an axe, you're probably not supposed to step foot
Good thing we didn't go party with those ratty guys.
in.
You're telling me. God,
All I got's my little tomahawk. Somebody laughed me on right out the door.
And oh, sorry, go on. No, don't let me interrupt.
I ain't really in the mood for a fight with lumberjacks tonight. Them bastards are crazy.
Round about this time, your compatriots show up from the livery.
When I see him, I raise a glass.
It's
Gentlemen?
wasting no time.
No time at all.
How's the scenery?
It's same old shit town, you know. But some flowers here and there.
You get used to the smell.
Long as we stay away from the blackjack.
Not a gambling man there, Clayton?
Oh, that blackjack, I can take or leave. I'm referring to that blackjack, and I point down the street.
And sure enough, you see this. You see the raucous place, and just as he's pointing down the place, you see somebody go flying through the front door and land face first into the dirt. And he picks himself up, and he kind of like looks, shakes himself off, looks, and starts counting the paces back to the door. When he gets back to the door, he goes, 6! I can do better! He goes walking in. All right, so, and without any further to do, what do you do with the rest of your evening before bedding down? Any
I
other
head
plans?
in and I get a refill and I go talk to Annie.
Okay. And what about the rest of you?
Grab a
I'll-
beverage. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll have a meal and a couple beverages, and I want to talk to Amy in particular, but Morrow can be a part of this conversation too. I just want to get kind of the lay of the land here and find out what goes bump in the night around here.
Okay.
And if I'm going to Delmonico's, I believe I want to order the steak, right?
Yeah,
That's yeah. Delmonico's has the best steaks in America.
okay.
But yeah, lay of the land, working that crowd to see what like might have been the first time that I passed through Hellgate Pass, and I didn't like the shadow that fell over top of me, and just rustling up what kind of rumors might be circulating amongst the patrons here. I think is the focus.
Okay.
And if they do have any rye whiskey, well, then I might enjoy some rye whiskey.
All right. So, let's hear that conversation between Clayton and Amy here first.
Marshal, yeah, if I can chime in
the
too.
other two are gonna, their goals are a little bit more extended tests, shall we say? So let's hear this conversation first.
Do Marshal, my my connection here, at least on the outskirts of town, what would have been that major export of that farm?
Oh, it would. Well, before you left, it was a kind of a broad purpose farm.
Okay.
Your father passed in '71. You imagine your mom either had to take on hired hand or scale back a little bit, if she was trying to run the place herself. So
Maybe more of a self-sustaining operation at this point.
possibly, give me a common knowledge roll. See if you can what you can remember before you left.
4.
Yeah. Well, you do remember that she had a pretty good apple orchard, so that she could probably still handle all on her own. So perhaps that's the major export of the Haddock family farm at the moment.
So I would, yeah, in addition to my grab some rye as well, and alongside my steak, see if they've got an apple pie or the sorts, something to a little reminiscent.
All right.
And as I'm taking that in, just sitting there with Clayton.
Okay. Clayton, you said you had questions for Amy there.
Yep. Yeah, so I take a sip from my whiskey, pull from my cigar, and I look over at him, and I go, Amy, you acted a mite troubled when we came into town here. This place is rough and tumble, but it ain't Dodge, and it sure as shit ain't Deadwood. What's got you so worked up here?
The surprisingly, Major had calmed a little bit, maybe of the nerves, and getting a good stiff drink, slab of meat, and sweet slice of pie. It's definitely helping as well, but I'm gonna sink right back into it as Clayton brings that up. And well, I don't have to ask if you remember about me essentially deserting yourself back more east. But I'm trying to figure out what caused me to do so. I don't sleep, and if I do, it's things I see, I feel, I hear that I would wish on no one else. And I'm sick of running from it. I figure maybe I can just face it head on and take care of it.
I like to think I got a bullet for every one of my demons, but sounds like yours might be a little bit more difficult to put down.
Marshal, is there any mirrors in this establishment?
Yeah, sure. Big, broad one behind the bar.
When he says that, I just kind of glance over towards that thing.
All right.
Now, one more question for you. Not to dwell on more disturbing topics, but... And I kind of lean in closer and lower my voice at this point. How often the cavalry come through here?
Well, I'd say just about... Marshal?
Give me a common knowledge roll.
Okay. That's a 3.
You want to take one of those plus ones?
Yes. Yes.
All right, we'll deduct one of those. 4 miles north, 4 miles south of town is Fort Missoula, a fully staffed infantry fort established here in order to protect folks moving westward and from the savage native raiding parties, most of which don't even live in the area anymore. But the fort is still maintained with a platoon of soldiers. No cavalry, but just infantry.
And to his specific question, do they wander in towards town?
Oh, there's probably given leave at some point.
Okay.
It's only 4 miles away.
So I'll relay that to Clayton. So yeah, they're close enough nearby that bound to see a handful here then.
Well, as long as the rank and file don't know about the shadier things the cavalry's been up to in the Dakotas, hopefully they won't give us any trouble.
And with that, we're going to move on over to Jim. Let's hear a little bit of your silver tongue.
What does she look like?
She is she is not a young ingenue. She is a mature woman of early 30. She
Okay.
seemed actually kind of determined, a little bit sly, and while she pretends to bat her eyes at all sorts of flirtish sayings, she is sizing you up at the same time.
Okay. So I walk over
Dark hair,
and
if that's important.
Yeah.
Dark, kind of like red brown hair, more brown
Okay.
than red.
So I walk over and she's sitting at a table.
She's she's leaned up against the bar at the corner, right where it bends. So she's got you can see in one periphery out the window to the street, straight ahead to the door, and over to where the tables are on the other side.
Okay.
And of course,
So I walk.
it does this very interesting thing when she leans back with her elbows on the table and kind of it allows her to bend her rib cage forward and up.
Okay. So I walk over, kind of take my time, and when I get in front of her, I say, "Good evening, ma'am. I heard your name is the prettiest names out here in the West. Is that true?"
Well, if by pretty you mean Anne, yes, indeed. And
Anne. Hmm.
who might you be?
My name is Jaemison Freeman. You can call me Jim, if you feel comfortable.
Well,
Can I buy you a drink?
Well, I certainly feel comfortable when someone says that. Elias, and she just holds up 2 fingers, and Elias pulls out she goes, "Do you have a choice, Mr. Freeman?"
Well, I'm drinking whiskey tonight. If you'd like to join me.
Elias nods, pours a shot, and give me a notice roll.
Nine.
All right. He very deftly pours a second shot from a completely different bottle, and slides that one over to Anne.
Okay. So I look at her and I say, "I hope you enjoy your drink. You seem like you've got kind of quite a spark in your eyes. You're you're much more than I think just some saloon gal.
Well, yeah, I suppose I am. Everybody's something.
That's true,
kinda-
but
Yeah.
you also seem like you might be trouble.
Oh, I am definitely trouble. Even I
Good
need
kind
to
of
be.
trouble?
When
good
I
kind?
need to be.
Well, it's nice to make your acquaintance. I hope that you don't mind my company.
No, not at all. It is a pleasure to have a scintillating conversation. She holds up the shot, kind of clinks it with yours, downs it, puts it on the table.
Okay. So I sip mine, and I kind of just lean back and just check her out.
Okay. She then proceeds to make polite conversation, never questioning or probing too hard on anything. Only just leaving open a chance for you to talk more about yourself. And she seems like a good listener. Like she's done it professionally for some time.
All right. I want a paid lady.
Oh, not a paid lady. No, she's a paid
Okay.
listener.
I see. All right.
In fact, give me a notice check. Actually, give me a persuasion check.
So I want to romance this lady.
Yeah,
I don't want to just be like, here's, a handful of dollars.
No, that's not what I'm aiming at.
Okay. Can I spend a Betty?
Yeah, yeah, sure. That brings you down to 0. I'm all
Yes,
for that.
it does.
Jem
Maybe
You
has
guys are like good to
Maybe
share
we
with
should
me,
have
right?
changed your habit.
Jem has his priorities
think
straight.
so.
That's
It's
for sure.
all about priorities. Jem has their priorities set.
Mhm.
6.
All right, that's a success. So it's not a raise, but it is a success. So what you garner from you spend a good 20 minutes talking, and you get the impression that Elias, the bartender, is the bartender, and Annie maybe runs the place.
Okay.
That's sort of it's not confirmed, but you were getting a real feel of who's the one in charge around here. Yeah.
So when I kind of get that vibe, I take a look over at Elias and I see her like defer to her.
Mm-hmm.
I see him defer to her. I'd like to take her hand and say, I'm very intrigued by a lady who's in charge. Sounds like you know what you want.
All right, now this will be an opposed roll.
Okay.
Persuasion versus her spirit. It doesn't
You
have
got
to
a
happen
Benny's,
all
huh?
at once. It can take time.
How many additional bennies do I have access to?
Well, the crew at home gave us 7, but I am going to say at this moment that we're about to go to break. Just as you're about to lean in and press the point, you hear some sort of hootenanny taking place outside in the street.
Damn
You
Mama
hear
Jack.
I forget. You guys are all indoors at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
It definitely sounds like you hear somebody calling out, "Yeah, get him, rope him. There we go. Whoa, boy. Whoa, Nelly, come on. There we go." And some very loud, very boisterous, very needling sort of laughter coming from outside in the street. It's getting dark outside finally. And Morrow and Amy, give me notice rolls.
Morrow's notice is just a D4,
I feel you,
but
man.
the wild die did explode for
I'm
a
gonna
7.
Okay, 7 from. I'm gonna Benny mine. I had a 1 and a 2.
Okay.
Take a 5.
All right. That is a success for the both of you. And you see a couple of men that you can, it's hard to, you're only looking through the sort of grimy windows of the Monaco, and then you can't get a clear look. But a couple men on horseback, lariats out, currently have roped a small, scruffy man in a dark navy uniform coat. They have him
So a
roped up and
ex-Union soldier
they're currently
who
kind
doesn't
of
have any badges on him.
and currently trying to drag him down the street by rope. And with that, we're gonna go to break.
Damn Major.
Crazy.
Hey, there we are, folks. How you doing? Welcome back. Where we last left off, our group of party members, the posse, was sitting in the Demel Monaco's restaurant, chatting up the fine proprietor of the establishment, sharing or not sharing a little dark secrets, and while Mr. Morrow was attempting to just get a lay of the land, when everyone was interrupted by some shenanigans going down in the street. It is right here around sunset, and a couple of ranch hands with lariats are currently harassing the fine Mr. Major Owen that Amy and Morrow had met earlier down at the livery, and they are currently attempting to drag him around, apparently against his will. Does anybody want to do anything, or are you just going to sit back and watch?
I'm lost in
There we go.
Anne's eyes.
Okay, all right.
Y'all can come get me if you want.
I was. We seen and hear the commotion. Is there enough to recognize that we know it's Major yet, or not necessarily?
It is yeah. You guys both made the rolls, so
Oh, you're right,
Morrow
yeah.
and Amy both know it's Major. The other two have no clue.
Yeah, I'll kind of look over at Amy and go, "You know him?"
I'll just. I'd say as soon as I recognize that it's him, I'd probably just be like, "Oh, damn it, Major," and probably just get up and start heading towards the door. Maybe a quick glance to see where Bob's at.
Bob, where's Bob at?
Bob is directly behind Amy, and you can tell. Well, no, I think he even states it out loud to Amy. I'm gonna see their lariat and raise them a hog tie.
All right.
And he's literally pulling out a lariat that
Okay.
that he had on his waist.
All right. So Amy and Morrow both seem real angered by what they see going on outside, and they go storming out through the front doors of the Demonicos.
I'm gonna back him up too.
Okay.
Do I see them leave?
Yeah, it's quite obvious.
And they look upset.
Yeah.
So can I just kiss her on the hand and say, I might be needed outside?
You surely may.
Okay. And I tip my hat to her on the way out the door. I slug my drink.
All right. Let's see. I forget. Hang on. Yeah. We'll. I had you make a persuasion check against her spirit, right?
Yes, and I was gonna spend a chat assigned Benny.
Yeah.
Or not even the penny, but we do have the +1s if that will help you
What
just
did you
slip
roll
it in.
on that?
I rolled a 4, I think. Oh wait, yeah, I rolled a 4, which isn't amazing. I was gonna spend a Benny to get a little bit better because that's not gonna do much against this formidable lady.
Yeah, she's got a. Let's see. I'm gonna check her spirit here. If I can. Nope, not that way. All right, I'm rolling physical dice. 5. All right, so yeah, your first attempt does not succeed. But that's taking way too long to load up. Your first attempt would not succeed against her 5. You can spend that Benny, or you can. You haven't. This is an extended thing. It's going to take a while, a little bit of wooing before she'll take it anything more than a professional relationship at the moment. So,
okay. Maybe I'll just leave it there and see if perhaps I get into some trouble that'll impress her.
Yeah, what you do now might aid in that. All right. So you've earned collectively you've earned no chips, no tokens in the process, but you got more attempts to make here before you haven't failed dramatically yet, so you're good. All right, come on, close. All right, so and as you guys come stepping out, they're just harassing and Owen and just having a good old time. They're yanking on him, pulling him, pushing him down, and then dragging him through the dirt. And he's like, don't worry, Major. You'll end up cleaner than you started. And they're going to keep doing that unless one of you guys step forward and says something to pull their attention.
I don't know who it is, so Jem just kind of sits back and defers to the other guys, but I have my hand on my gun.
Yeah.
Kind of just ready.
Bob, did you rush out as well? Okay. Yeah, just kind of.
Bob is directly behind Amy, fighting to get forward to those two no good doers.
Well, yeah, feel free. I'm not. There's nothing that's holding you back. So tell me what it is that Bob's doing. If he's gonna step up and make the first move.
He's getting within range of the closest of these two ne'er-do-wells, and like I said, he's seeing their lariat and raising them a hogtie. So I believe it's a fighting rule to use a lariat.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So as you approach, do you say anything, or are you trying to catch them unawares?
Amy is probably gonna call out, so I'll come out and just yell out. Would you care to let us know what the Major has done to deserve such treatment here, my friends?
When you yell out at them, the two kind of stop with they're kind of playing tug of war with him at the moment. They each got him from one side and the other, and they kind of stop and they kind of look off in your direction. They see Bob coming towards them. You have the rope out in your hand, and sees Amy back in the distance, and they're like on, what's it to you?
They're on horseback, you said?
They were. They're not on horseback anymore.
Okay.
They snagged him and dragged him to the ground, and they hopped off their horses in order to begin to tie him up. And when you guys finally got out onto the front boardwalk of the building of the Demonicos, and they're like, "What's it to you?"
Well, this gentleman here is in care of some of our possessions, and he's not gonna do too well in that position.
I hope it
tied
wasn't
up,
something drinkable.
No, it wasn't. A slight smirk at that remark, regardless of the situation. It says, but regardless, still haven't answered my question. What's Major Owen done wrong to you?
He's unsightly to my disposition, and I cannot finish my meal while he is in the environment. So we're taking care of that. I'm gonna go throw him down in the river, give him a bath. And Owen's like, it is not, it's Misters, I just want to say, thank you for your concern and all. This happens from time to time, I assure you. They won't kill me. Will you, boys? Right?
Owen,
Nope.
is the proprietor back at your previous establishment?
Yeah. Lucas came back and was, he was like, I was coming up to spend, and he's like, realized that he maybe shouldn't to talk about what he was gonna do, and he says, I was Lucas came back. Your horses are all spoken for.
Well, then, Major Owen, if sounds like your services aren't needed anymore.
What?
If you're not there taking care of our horses, so maybe it is time for a bath, yeah?
Okay. And the two guys look.
I reckon Bob steps forward past Amy at that point. Then,
Yeah.
and explains that my horse likes you, so do I. And he's gonna, if he's in range, he's gonna toss a lariat at one of the men that's trying to give the major a bath.
Okay. All right. Give me a fighting roll.
If my horse decided it, then that's the reality.
Yeah.
So a lariat attack.
Lariat is just,
it's
just a fighting roll. And
all right.
If with a success they're entangled. With a raise they are bound. So it is versus their parry. I'm gonna give you a
fighting roll exploded.
Okay. Are you targeting, let's say, the more ornery one that was doing all the talking, or the beefier one that was doing most of the wrestling?
Oh goodness. Like they both have him in ropes,
but one's definitely clearly a bigger, stronger guy.
All right. No. Bob would definitely be going to challenge the one that's the beefier, stronger one with a 10.
All right. Yeah. That hits his parry with a raise. So describe how you completely bind up this guy with your lariat.
So I think perhaps Amy provided a little bit of cover and distraction, and it came looping over top of their gorgeous white hat, and landed on top of them, and managed to bind up their arms, like that they've been holding on to their lariat with, and upon cinching it, Bob was able to potentially disarm them of the hold that they had upon the major.
Okay.
And maybe wasn't able to like, it could have been a call to pull their feet from out from under them, but rather than doing that, they just disarmed them, cinched them tight, and is just glaring at them, absolutely begging them to try to move from this. And like he said, he's willing to. He saw their lariat. He's willing to raise them the hog tie. We can do it that way if they want.
All right. And with that action, I am drawing cards, stepping into these men's affairs, and everyone's going to get dealt a card now.
So while you're drawing cards, can I move?
Yeah, sure. You can place yourself anywhere on the map, basically, within, but not closer than 4 to any one of these guys, probably, before this happens.
I just stay, just basically at the boardwalk, rifle swinging around.
First person to pull a card actually was a fellow you didn't exactly clock as being part of this group. He was leaned up against the wagon, off to one side of the street. But as soon as you step in and rope this one guy, he kind of like straightens up. He was just like enjoying the show here, and he's just like, "Hey, now, this ain't none of your business." And kind of comes striding. Ooh, I got everybody selected there. And he comes striding across the street right up to your face there, Walsh, and throws a punch at you. And let's see. Just gonna roll that here. Does 4 hit your parry?
Current parry, like fighting is D6 plus.
So no, your parry would be
so
a
divided
5
by
then.
2 plus 2 is 5. I think so.
Yep.
That misses.
Yeah. All right. So he takes a big, wide swing at you. It kind of telegraphs that it is coming forward, and you just kind of like lean back, keeping your hands on the lasso. Oh, but hang on, wait. But because you're holding a
when you're wielding a lariat, you're at -1 parry.
Yes, but when you're wielding a lariat, so you lean back, but you're still holding on to the lariat, and he just catches you right on the chin as he comes swinging in. But it's that's a 6. Acing that roll, 10. Good,
all right.
strong, cracking hit against you.
Okay.
What is Bob's toughness?
Bob's toughness. Their vigor is currently a D6.
Nope, it's a 5. I just looked it up.
So that means I'm going to spend a Benny to make a soak roll, I believe.
Yeah, you are shaken and must spend a Benny in order and try and make a soak roll, or you take a wound from this.
No,
punch.
we will definitely spend that Benny to make a soak roll.
Okay.
So that soak roll is done with a vigor.
Yes, give me a vigor check.
I am entitled to my wild die. And do we drop the detail to chat? That Bob makes his soak rolls at a -2.
Well, yeah, the music thing is going
Bad
crazy
news, kids.
right now.
Bob makes his soak rolls at a -2.
Yes. What the hell is going on with the music?
Oh, boxcars.
Oh,
Nice.
So you mean double 6s? Okay, that's good.
Yes. And so I had a 9 on the soak roll. -2 is 7.
All right. So yeah, that is enough to soak the hit. You take the hit, suck it up, and you're not even shaken by it. So
Nice.
you're good to go when your card comes up. Geez, yeah, the music is acting super wonky right now. All right.
Can Jem say something?
Yeah. Speech is free.
So I look at the guy that just hit Morrow,
Mm-hmm.
and I say, "Hey, this ain't none of our business, but we're still here. You don't go around throwing punches, especially at nice Canadian men."
All right. Give me a second here, folks. I am trying to refresh the Foundry here because it is acting super choppy all of a sudden, and I can't even work the map anymore. Something. The music has definitely died, so I can't
This
even.
is when this is when Todd should take out his guitar and just like play some
Yeah.
ambient.
All right, let's. try
This
and
was
get
the day the music died.
My.
Okay.
It's
All right.
American Pie.
So
Joe
next up on the combat tracker was one of the other ranch hands, Bodie. Bodie was the one that was being all mouthy and a little bit thinner and scrawnier than the guy you tied up, but he is mean as a rattler. He spits back. He spits back at you and says, "Look, when I want your words, I'll come over there and beat them out of you." And then as he walks up to this guy, Canadian, huh? Yeah, another logger. Well, I'll show you what we do I'll show you what us ranch boys can do to you. And he basically then begins to gang up on Bob. He's dropped the lariat that was holding Owen, and is now flanked Bob on the other side and throws a punch at him.
Doesn't have the -1. Beauty.
But he rolls a 1. So he's a big talker, but not a whole bunch in the way of showing you really what them ranch boys can do to them lumberjack boys. Takes a swing, he misses, kind of trips over the lariat on the way walking over to you, and he's kind of like, and ends up just sort of trying to like straighten himself out and make it look like, that didn't happen and none of you saw it. Dixon is up next. They all pulled high cards. Dixon attempts to free himself, extricate himself from the lariat, but is bound something solid. So Haddock, you're finally up.
How far away are we from Blackjack?
Blackjack is probably about 2 rounds away. Up the street.
Is there anyone outside Blackjack?
This round, not. You can see people coming to the door, but no one's come outside just to see what the ruckus is just yet.
Do I feel that my voice would carry to the door? And is it saloon door or?
Yeah. It is a saloon door. That's like you saw people being thrown out through through those doors. They got the double swing doors there on the Blackjack, and based on the way sound carried from there to here, you could certainly imagine that if you're got a powerful enough lungs, you can do the reverse.
Well, yeah, I will. I'll take a couple steps towards the Blackjack at least,
Okay.
and cut my mouth and just say, "Hey, lumberjacks, these boys out here say that most of you ain't worth a damn."
All right, give me a persuasion check. Or performance, if you prefer. I know you probably have that.
That's a little better. I will take that.
Man.
A 4. I'll take the 4.
All right. Yeah, that's a success. All right. So your voice carries far enough. The lumberjacks up the street hear it, and they will you've certainly got their attention. But that's just calling out. And was there anything else you'd like to do?
Otherwise, do these guys have any weapons other than the lariats?
You can see all the ranch hands do have pistols on them. They haven't pulled them, and the
Okay.
2 horses that they were on do have rifles on slings. But again, they're still on the horses.
Okay.
They were just using the lariats and their bare fists at the moment.
And I'll pull my rifle out and just kind of hold it up, not up yet, and then turn back to these guys if I can have another quick moment of speech and just call out and say, gentlemen, I suggest that we turn to words here and try and settle this more amicably.
Oh, okay. Well, that's basically trying to double up on a persuasion roll or persuasion and a performance in the same round. So I'm going to say you can pick that you alerted those guys up the
Yeah, in that
street,
case, yep, that's fine. In that case,
or
I'm
you
definitely
just,
hollering.
and then there's no effect on this here, basically.
Okay, yeah. So, yep, that's fine.
Wow. I think maybe that. Wow, it's playing the music. I can hear the music start, go a few seconds, stop, and then start and go a few seconds again. It's really distracting. Freeman, you're up.
So I'm gonna move a little closer to get like right next to Morrow,
Yeah.
right there, and I'm gonna punch the guy that punched him real
Okay.
hard in the face.
All right.
So that is my fighting.
That would be Turner.
I got a 4.
4 to hit.
Yeah.
That will not hit.
No?
No, 5. The parry's a 5. You can take one
Okay.
of the +1s.
I will take a +1.
All right. I think there were 2, so there's 1 left. So that's a hit. Just give me a strength check.
Okay. Let's see.
Unless you have a brawler, which would give you a extra
No.
damage. All right.
No, I'm a brute, but not a brawler.
Okay.
Yet. Oh no! No, I don't
Not a
want to
first one?
say.
Did you roll double 1s?
I did.
Okay. All right. But you know what? You're rolling damage. So
Oh, so I'm safe.
yeah. That was a damage roll, not a critical failure. It just
All right.
all it is you dealt a point of damage because you're only picking one of them for your roll, right?
Yeah.
So that is so that is just a nothing.
Okay.
You hit him, but the blow is in no way connects in any sort of meaningful way. And it's just like just kind of like, oh man, I so want to say you hit like a girl, but
Can when I hit him because I did not do enough damage, can it just turn into like a really gnarly slap that's embarrassing?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that does probably a lot more damage to you than you expected.
Yeah.
And
You
he's like,
guys.
you slapped me.
Yeah, you talk like a bitch. You get hit like a bitch.
All right, you get a Benny.
Thank you.
What was that, James? Did I heard you say something? Can I kill the sound? Maybe if I I thought I heard James say something. All right, so next up is going to be Clayton. Clayton, what are you going to do?
Yeah, so I'm going to step forward, pull both of my guns, and I'm going to say, I'm going to make this real simple for all of you. You can stand down or you can die. And I'm going to roll intimidation.
Oh, okay. You can only, unless you have rabble rouser, you can only intimidate one person. So you got to pick one.
Okay, so the guy who's done all the punching
Okay.
is the one who I'm gonna intimidate, and so I got a 6, so that one's gonna explode. So that's gonna be 11 total for intimidation.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat that. Let's see. Oh, but he does roll a 6. No, he rolls 8 all day. So 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 3, not a raise. Unless you want to take that last +1. Or you can just take the you can make him distracted or vulnerable, or you can take that last +1 and shake him with that.
If no one objects, I'll take the last
Go for
+1.
it. Do it.
Go for
Okay.
it.
All right. So you take that last +1 and you bump up that intimidation roll with a steely gaze that seems to come floating down off the Montana glaciers and chills a man's soul. And he turns to snap at you, and he kind of catches a glimpse of your eyes and your squint and a little bit of the nervous twitch you put on one side, and just like, and all of a sudden his dedication to this endeavor just seems to falter for a moment. In addition to making him shaken, you can make him distracted or vulnerable.
I will make him vulnerable.
Okay. And then he will become that much easier to target on Walsh's turn, who is next. Walsh.
Oh man. So we've got
So
is it
Bodie.
4?
Right now you have Bodie and Dixon. No, you have Bodie and Turner who are fighting you. Turner has just become shaken and is vulnerable.
Okay. So I've got basically a +2 to target.
Yep.
Plus
I'm
2 to
assuming
target Bodie.
And if you're, yeah, I'm assuming you've dropped the lariat at this point, right?
Yeah. Who is ensconced in the lariat? Someone else?
That was a Dixon. This other guy, Dixon.
Dixon. Okay. And he's entangled as it is, or
He is bound. Yeah,
or
he's caught up in.
he's bound.
tied up in. He's bound is the worst version, I think. It's
okay.
entangled and bound. With entangled, you can't move, but you can take other actions. With bound, you can't do anything but try and break free.
Right. Okay. So he's entangled.
Bound.
Or sorry, he's bound. Okay. Okay. I think I might want to declare 2 actions. The first one against the one that is vulnerable, and then the second one against the other one that is punching at me. So I think I want to double punch, make movements in between them, but try to knock 2 dudes out within the same round, making those attacks at a -2, I believe.
Yep, that would be -2 to beat each one.
Okay. Now the first one, it's sort of it's a wash because they are vulnerable. All right, so let's try out that one first. Oh, I've got a 1 and a 2, so I would like to spend a Benny.
Okay. You spending your bennies or one of the party bennies?
Let's spend one of my bennies. Nope, I haven't spent a Benny yet, so I'll dig into my bennies. That one's good for a 5, which is good for a hit without, or maybe depending on the parry, I guess.
Oh yeah, 5's a hit.
5's a hit. All right, so I can roll strength damage.
Yep.
And there is no wild die for
No, you just roll your
damage?
strength die type. You just roll your strength die type. Sorry.
So Bob's strength is D6. That's a 4.
4 is not enough to. Well, hang on. Wait, did you rolled a 5? Is that with the His parry would normally be a 5. It's dropped down to
5.
3.
3. No, that was already including,
Oh,
unfortunately,
you added
the
that in.
bonus
to the
of 2.
5. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so
Yep.
yeah, you
Yep.
connect. He's shaken, but not that's not enough to drop him.
Crumbs.
You just need to hit that. You need to hit that one more point. You might want to spend a penny on that and try again. You need to roll a 5. If you can roll
penny
a 5,
on the
you can knock
damage.
this guy out.
Okay. We'll spend a second Benny to re-roll our damage.
Yep.
Hoping for the best.
Yeah.
And that's a 3. I
Okay.
apologize,
No,
chat.
that's right.
But I do have a second attack that I could make. Hoping for a raise.
Okay. You're attacking the other guy.
That
this
will
one,
be.
right?
I don't know if I need to declare, but if I didn't knock this guy out, I feel like I would rather just take the plus
Take
2
another
against
swing at
him.
Sure.
Right. Okay, so the first one was a 5, second one, or wild die is a 4. So 5 is enough to hit.
Yep. No,
I believe, but not enough for a raise, so
Yeah.
that's just strength damage. Oh, come on, Bob. Come on. Yeah! So it's 6 exploding for damage
There we go.
to
Nice.
a 10. Woo!
Well, so all you needed was that 6. You just needed to roll that.
Okay.
Yeah, a 5 or higher would have been enough to drop this guy. With that second, you catch him. The first punch you bring in, and it kind of like he kind of staggers back, but the second punch lands nice and solid across the jaw, and he just drops.
Beauty.
It hits the dirt.
That's courtesy the vulnerability.
And then I'm going to, and that is the end of that first round. Second round, high card goes to Haddock.
Alrighty. Do I see any of our Albunian types coming our way?
Yeah, you see a couple of like 3 or 4 big burly lumberjack men come stumbling out of the blackjack up the street. It's going to take another round for them to get here, or 2, depending on how straight they can manage to walk, because they do not seem all that lucent at the moment.
So yeah, I pull my rifle up the rest of the way and call out to I guess whoever is of the group the most antagonistic at this point, and just kind of reinforce Clayton's proposition, if you will. Gentlemen, I think we have some others that would like to come join the discussion here, but I'm really going to have to suggest that we all just stand down and have a chat.
Or give me a persuasion check. Who are you trying to persuade?
Whoever is at this point, I guess, most antagonistic of the group, if there's anyone that's
well, there's
standing
3
up.
of them. One of the guys just got knocked out unconscious. One of them is tied up, and then the third one is Bodie. And Bodie is the real ornery, pissy one, who seems all riled up for a fight.
Yeah, hit Bodie for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
6. 4.
All right, let's against his spirit, and he rolls. Oh no, yeah, he is not having any of this. He rolls a 9 on his spirit to resist your attempts to calm the situation, yeah, he's not interested. Clayton, you're up.
Okay. So Bodie's not backing down at all?
Not yet.
I shoot Bodie.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll my shooting. Let's see. I am gonna spend a Benny on that.
Okay, sounds like it wasn't a good roll. What was the roll? I just want to hear what it was before you spend the Benny.
It was a 4.
Okay. So that would have hit. A 4 hits.
Okay then. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll keep the Benny then.
Okay. All right. It's not a raise, but go ahead. Roll 2d6 for the damage.
All right.
Or is it 2d6 plus 1? What kind of guys?
2d6 plus 1 for the
Okay.
frontier. All right. So we're looking at a total of 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay. That. Where do you put that bullet?
So it's gonna be like center of mass.
Okay. The bullet. There's a sharp crack of thunder from Clay's gun, a puff of smoke, and the whole street just goes dead silent.
And as soon as as soon as the gun goes off, I go, "I warned you, you son of a bitch!"
And Bodie kind of reaches to his vest and kind of like pulls back a hand of blood, kind of shock, and then he kind of like reaches down to his holster, but he kind of goes gray and kind of like his vision kind of gets all blurry, drops down to one knee, and then falls face forward.
Clayton not playing.
And with that, the other guy, the last guy, is still up, essentially, still kind of tied up. He's still tied up in the lariat. Just kind of like looks down, and he goes, "I'm done, sir. Can I go now, please? I do not want to be here."
I think Bob sort of just like gestures for him to fall over.
Oh, my heart! And drops to the ground. You do, however, see a rather young man come running up the street. He's got a rifle in one hand, and in the fading light, I'm going to have you guys make notice checks.
All right. 5.
2.
All right.
4.
Failure.
All right. Hey, well, those of you who succeeded, that's good, because you managed to catch the glint of the tin star pinned to his vest as he comes running up the street.
Clayton, what did you do?
And he comes sliding to a halt. He looks down at Bodie and then looks up at you. And calls out, "Who saw this? Who drew?" Yeah, and he looks down at Bodie and goes. He looks at Bodie's hand and bloody, and looks at the gun. This man still has his gun and is still in his pocket. He kind of stands up and he goes, "Who did this?"
Jem
Anyone?
cracks his knuckles and adjusts his hat and is like, "I ain't seen nothing. This man done run up on our people."
Well, you're gonna have to. He raises the shotgun up. He's like, "You're gonna have to come with me till we get this sorted out." He looks kind of like out of his depth at the moment.
Son, I think things have been sorted quite fine.
I'm deputy till Sheriff Moses gets back. You're gonna have to come down because I'm gonna have to explain this.
Anybody gonna miss this here shit kicker?
That there's Bodie. He's one of the ranch hands to you don't know who this is?
So you're saying you're in need of a new ranch hand? Hey, Morrow, how's Major at handling them horses?
Well, I reckon he's quite a hand at that. He's largely been looking for work, and I believe he'd be well employed and also well talented and suited for that position.
Sounds like we got ourselves an agreement here, right, Deputy?
No, well, no, I can't agree to nothing, and I can't speak for Mr. McClellan neither.
Deputy, you see, if you go back to sheriff and say that all hell broke loose under your watch, man, that's not. Where's that gonna get you? But you go back, say all is good, and you helped find a young man some new work. Might get some extra shine on that star, yeah.
My friend here is making a pretty good point, son.
Who wants to take a lead on this persuasion, and everyone else can assist?
I call Amy.
Yeah, 1 second.
What are you guys working with?
I'm okay at it, so, and I actually shot the guy, so I should probably say something.
Good.
So I step forward, and at this point put my gun back in my holster. And walk up to the deputy and say, you can tell him that one of his boys started some trouble and got his. We're offering you a replacement. So I recommend you just turn around and pretend like nothing happened here.
All right, and everybody else can make persuasion checks to give him bonuses on this roll.
4.
That's +1.
I got a 5.
Well, hang on. Let's see. Anybody else helping out?
Bob opts out for fear of dropping negatives into the mix.
Okay. Amy, you helping out?
Am I doing the main role, or was
No. It sounds like Clayton's trying to do the main role, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, then yeah. So persuasion.
Yep.
Explode.
Oh.
Explode again.
Oh,
Check those dice. That
I might
is
have made a
math, everybody. 12
you know,
plus 4, 16.
16.
So, plus 2.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
Plus 3
that's
total, I think.
Plus 3 total to your 5. That's an 8, which is a hit and a raise. And you
Nice.
get it. And Clayton, you get a Benny for standing up for your own actions. It is a very Western sort of thing to do. Deputy Bucher is like, look, I can't talk to Mr. McClellan about this, but I will certainly let Sheriff Moses know your version of the events, and when he gets back into town, if you're still here, he might have some words about that. Meanwhile, can you untie Dixon so he can take his friend back? Find some place to get him buried?
And Bob sort of just sends a sinitudinal wave down the rope that unties Dixon or looses Dixon, and drops the loop of the lariat down to his feet, and threatens to pull it should he not step out of it. So I don't know if he's quick enough to step out of that loop on the ground, but Bob absolutely pulls it forward. If he jumps out of it in time, that's fine. If he doesn't, he's going to be free, but on his keister.
Dixon gathers up the body of his fellow ranch hand, throws it over one of the 2 horses, and the deputy says, "You take him back to Mr. McClellan. Tell him that Bodie got in over his head with some strangers in town. All right?" And that he isn't, and that Sheriff Moses is going to hear all about it. You let Sheriff Moses deal with it. All right, Dixon? Yeah, all right.
As Dixon is kind of putting the body on the horse, I just kind of look at him and go, "We're all one stupid mistake away from Boot Hill, boy."
Dixon kind of like after securing Bodhi onto the horse, it kind of looks back. What's your name?
Play MacTaggart.
Mr. MacTaggart. He just gives you a nod. Gets on the horse. Leads the other one down the street and into the fading darkness. And with that, you can feel the whole population of Front Street kind of like let out of breath. Everyone's kind of like on pins and needles, seeing what happens. A couple of the lumberjacks come stumbling up, and go, "So what was that all about?" You got one of them McClellan boys, I see. Yeah, you did right. Good
Running
choice.
their mouths.
Yeah, they do that. Why don't you come over to the Blackjack? Buy you around.
Jem is like already by the door.
All right, so once you're in the Blackjack, everything gets kind of hazy. You do remember the lumberjacks. They got their own private brew around these parts. There's a large number of them, and they got some still up out in the woods, and they bring it down and they crack it open here at the Blackjack, and it is some potent stuff. And you remember meeting a whole bunch of people whose names you will never actually be able to recall. And Walsh, you pick up a bit of information about what's going on. There's that population is currently on the upswing. Apparently, a couple weeks they are from now is going to be the 20th anniversary of the founding of the Missoula Mills. So they're the town elders are setting up to like build throw a big celebration party, and so they've been hauling down some extra lumber and getting it cut up to build some sort of pavilion a little further into town, not on Front Street, a couple blocks in. There's a big old edifice there, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you find yourselves down there, tripping over the planks of wood in the darkness, and where there's more feats of strength and prowess performed over the course of the evening, and vaguely sometime around dawn, you wake up passed out on the front steps of the Delmonico. So
that was a good night.
Yeah, you kind of maybe you. I'm not sure what you guys do. I wouldn't exactly call yourselves rested at this point, but maybe crawl up back upstairs, catch an hour or two before you kind of come oozing back down the steps, looking for some protein to settle your stomachs.
I immediately walk in and just say coffee.
Coming up. What about the rest of you folks?
I'm around the side of the establishment, forcefully reminiscing from the evening's indulgence. unfortunately. And after a purge or 2 or 3, we'll try and find myself back in for hopefully some eggs and other grease. Maybe some hair of the dog.
All
Jem
right.
Jem is tossing back hair of the dog, and after the first shot is already a little bit perkier. Says good morning to my compatriots. I had nothing to say before that.
So after that night,
Bob.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bob. What are you doing, Bob?
Bob is looking forward through hazy eyes, attempting to appraise the timber structure that has been erected to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Missoula's anniversary, and just trying to see if there's any deeper structure to it that they can appraise. But it's all happening within the same sort of eyes that I assume my compatriots are attempting to deal with as
Well,
they enjoy coffee and grease and salt.
Oh, so
so-
you go back to the fairgrounds basically to okay, all right. Or did you never leave? Did you just wake up in the grass over there?
I think he woke up in the grass and was just looking up on some sort of architectural structure and is attempting to assess what it means, and
What does this
still
mean?
feeling all the same pains that his compatriots are.
Okay. As you can see here on the landing page, I'm just going to make a little adjustment here. Your reputation amongst the loggers is amiable. Amiable. Your reputation amongst the ranchers is disliked. And one of these days, those little icons are going to move around.
Oh.
We were nice about it.
You're not hated by the ranchers.
I only shot one guy.
That's it. Could have been worse.
Your reputation amongst the local law is as yet undecided.
I feel like that was a nice balancing act. Thank you for getting us out of that trouble.
Jem, how the hell are you so chipper after a night like that?
Well, you know, I got my my trusty sidekick here, Jim Beam.
Kick in the side, that's for damn sure.
All right. So, any other plans for the afternoon, or for the mid morning at least, as you guys are sitting there eating food? Make any discussion about what you're going to do next, or just eating your meal? All right.
I think Jem is just kind of snacking quietly and avoiding Anne's gaze if she is anywhere in the room.
Okay.
Can we? I don't want to come too far out of character here, but have we established, all of our reasons for coming here? I think I've mentioned what Amy is here for.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone is tagging along for just his.
No. We know. You know why you're here,
right?
It is, and I know why Clay's here, but I'm not sure if he's told you why he's
Okay.
here. Clay's on. You're looking for someone, right?
So I'm sitting there trying to put down some eggs in the morning, and it's not going well. Moving them around with my utensil. Clayton, I don't know. I don't know yet why you've tagged along. What's your business in these parts?
Well, partially I'd like to put some distance between myself and the Dakotas. You know about that, but also, God damn it, I'm looking for him.
Him?
Yeah. I'm looking for Hardin. I got a bullet for each one of my demons, and I got about 6 for him.
Now, does Amy know who you're talking about? Have you told him the whole story? Or
Yeah, I would have told you about this. The man that he's talking about is John Wesley Hardin, who killed all of the guys that Clayton used to travel with, all the guys that Clayton came from North Carolina with, and he shot Clayton a couple times, left him for dead, but Clayton kind of barely scraped out of that with his life. So that's who he's looking for.
so he's on the hunt for John Wesley Hardin.
Mm-hmm.
You've traced him back here, yeah?
I don't know where that devil man is, but something tells me he's not far.
Well, I owe you for cutting out earlier, and I'll help. I'll help with this, but consider some of those demons that might rat around inside as well. Ugh. Sorry.
Cutting back over to the edifice, and as Morrow is looking at the place, man comes walking by carrying several stacks of cut, shorn planks, throws it down, kind of looks over at you, sees you kind of eyeing it all, and he's like, "Good morning."
Morning.
No. This is Morrow back at the fairgrounds.
Gotcha.
And, he goes, "Hey, something I can help you with." You see, he's got like he's wearing like what looks kind of like a gun belt, but in place of where the holsters would be, a variety of tools and pouches full of nails and stuff like that.
20th anniversary is coming up. What are you fixing to build?
Oh yeah. Mostly, they want like bunch of bleachers, I think they called them, for a band and stuff.
So there's going to be music. There's going to be entertainment. What's happening?
Oh, they're just gonna the Mayor Woody's gonna have some sort of big speechifying about it's been 20 years since they built the mills and founded what would become Missoula. 1 year after the official town charter was signed, and we're just re-election stuff mostly, but civic pride, they say.
Apart from politics, what do you reckon is happening here?
What do you mean? I'm sorry. What's your name?
They call me Bob.
Well, okay, Bob. My name's Morgan. How you do?
Pleased to meet you. It just seems like this is a whole lot of structure for just 20 years celebration.
Well, I mean, Mayor Woody wants to make a big deal out of it. It says, if you want to be treated like a big city, you act like a big city.
That's fair. Don't live in the present, live in the future, right?
I guess so, yeah. I don't really think about it that much. He asked me to build it, and I sure do like building things.
You've done a good job.
Well, it's my trade.
What can you tell me about Mayor Woody? You sure that those things I've heard aren't true?
Give me a persuasion check.
We're relying on the wild eye here because he's only got a D4 for persuasion. Oh, the 4 explodes. To a 7.
7. And he's like, he goes, "Oh, I'm sure half of it's true, but Frank has been around a long time. He's back from the Hellgate days."
I tell you that the Hellgate that I passed through coming on into Missoula was mighty fearsome. If I'm leaving here, is there any worse paths I can take, or was that the worst one that I could pass on?
Well, there's plenty of bad paths to take, son. No, yeah. Well, actually, no, you're actually roughly the same age, you and him.
Okay, yeah, mid-40s.
Yeah. So he goes, "Well, there's plenty of rough paths to take, but I didn't mean that Hellgate." He points off to the in the direction of the pass. He points in the opposite direction.
What, I'm trying not to belay my interest in that, but that's very, very, very interesting. So not towards the pass, but towards the opposite direction. He points.
Yeah, he goes, "I meant the other one."
All right.
You're from around here?
Close enough, but I sure wouldn't head that way, would you?
Well, folks can be a mite superstitious, but and I'm not one to talk out of turn necessarily, but people tell their tales, and a lot of folk, they're scared of the old Hellgate. See, about Mayor Woody and the people who founded Missoula, they were kind of running away from the other town when they came up here. But about 4 or 5 miles downriver, they had was the first town of Hellgate, situated right there. Well, you can't see it from here. It's over those hills. And things got mighty hairy. And a lot of people got killed. And some folks figured, rather than rebuild, might as well just pack up and leave it behind, Start fresh, start new. The mills were already built because the river here is really good for powering the grist and the making flour and stuff. So the mills were already here, and folks just figured, take what they want, take what they got, come up here, set up shop. I mean, it's not right in the corner. It's not equal distance between the two Indian tribes, but most of them moved off to the Sioux Nations anyway. And they laid a pretty big bet on that this would be a good spot for the railroad, and paid off. It took 20 years, but look at us. It's a right proper town now.
Here we are now, and there's so many fewer dead than there was back up the river. Am I right? And I think Bob claps him on the shoulder. We're much safer here. You keep on building. This is the safe place to live.
Well, every day, just trying to make it a little bit better, If you need anything, stop on down right there on the you can come on by my shop, the Beckett Brothers. We can help you out.
Don't mind if I do.
Bennett Brothers. We can help you out.
Bennett it is. Well, always need supplies. You keep on hammering those nails straight.
I always do. Well, see you later.
Yeah, stands up, sort of shakes himself off.
They call me Bob. Is that like one of them native names? Like runs on water and stuff like that?
Oh, strange bison, whatever you want to call me.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Oh, usually
if you
they
don't
say
mind me
parts
asking, you don't have
unknown.
to tell me. You seem mighty amiable. More so than the folks we get around here. You don't look like a logger. You don't look like a farmer. Too clean to be a miner.
Well, I appreciate that compliment. Just out east. Parts unknown is what they might say. Who's to know where we all come from?
Yep.
Important part is I'm here now.
Okay. I only ask once. You have a good day there. You ever want to help? Need a job? Could use a little bit more men on my crew. He goes back to building. And back at Delmonico's. What is the conversation turned to? Anything?
So, Jem, how'd things go with
Oh.
whoever you had your eyes
Than?
on?
Oh, well, then I'm taking a little break from trying to talk to her last night. I think I got in too few impressions with her, and far too many shots of whiskey. So I might reckon I try later on today when I've managed to pull myself together a little bit, and I kind of just start like trying to adjust myself so I'm a little more presentable. What about you, Clayton? I didn't figure you for a hothead.
Sorry. Unfortunately, this horse only has 2 speeds. You got walk and gallop.
I respect that. I like a man who knows what he's about.
Do a lot more galloping than walking, though. In my experience with him, however.
Well, let's just say that I found that in this life, it's better to pull first than pull last.
Well, I mean, it's probably a little too early to be saying it, but someone like me who's been around the block, I don't take companionship lightly, but I'm pretty thankful for having met you guys. You seem to be some good lads to get it up with, and yeah, I don't know. Whenever you need me, I'll have your back.
I'll have your back too. Standing in the doorway is Major Owen. Got his hat in one hand, and he's like, "I just want to say thank you all for what you did for me yesterday. Though I didn't rightly expect it or ask for it, but you did sort of work real hard to get me my dignity, and well, it's been a long time since anybody took that sort of interest."
Major, you son of a bitch, come here.
Miss Ann, can I come in?
This here's a guest of ours.
She's like, "Fine, come on in."
Now,
He wipes his feet extra good on at the door frame, and then before walking in.
comes in, and I imagine that he is yet to have that bath. And sorry,
No.
sorry, Major. I was just having fun there about letting them fellas go through with that. Sometimes soften people up first, but seems other people, gives a nod towards Clayton, decided to go another route. Effective, nonetheless, but
Yeah, I was quite surprised on anybody would stick their neck out for me, and I just wanted to say thank you. So if there's anything you ever need, I can help you out. I've been around a long time.
You find yourself employed with the ranch?
Oh no! I don't think I'd go out there and work for Mr. McClellan. He's a lot meaner than that man you put down. Probably doubly so that you killed him.
Why exactly did those McClellan boys give you a hard time?
Well, Mr. McClellan. Well, it's a good thing for you that none of them are actually his, kin.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, folks that work for him. But, he's still kind of. They acted like they were, extensions of him, and he's the richest man in the valley, other than maybe the wardens who built the first store here. McClellan kind of, owns the place, so to speak. Owns most of the land, at least, for his cattle. And he don't like it when people come challenging his authority or pushing his men around. He's likely to push back.
What about the law around these parts? They defer to this McClellan?
Sheriff Moses, he keeps the peace mostly. Imagine he'll be coming around and talk to you himself. Last I heard, though, he was up on Rattlesnake Creek looking into another issue. They've been folks been attacked by highwaymen, what do you call road agents, out that way, and he's got to put in a show trying to stop them and all.
So
Put in a show?
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? You gotta kind of be there when they show up, or I guess track them. But these hills, they're mighty hard to track people in. Even in my good days, I was never really good at that. My wife used to help me out the most on that. Kind of stares off for a moment again. Then kind of comes back to the conversation.
What's your wife's name, Major? If you don't mind.
The smile kind of drops away, and he goes, Her name was Nancy, sir. Well, that was her, the name. That was her white name. She was her given name was a little bit too difficult for many folk to pronounce, so they just took to calling her Nancy.
It's a pretty name, Nancy.
She was a real good scout, and she helped me lead a whole mess of people from back east out to the west here. And fact matter is, as much of a wagon train guide as I was, I kind of really needed somebody who actually could know which way was north when the time was important. And she helped me out with that for as long as she did. She passed some time ago.
Every time Major says was or refers to Nancy in past tense, there's likely a visible reaction in Amy. I'm sorry to hear that, Major.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sorry too. So, so the Sheriff Moses, there's been these folk holding up stagecoaches and the like. He's looking into it. I seen them once, but no one listens to me. They think I'm just begging for another drink, you know?
Hey, Clayton, what say you take your quick draw there, and maybe we take our friend here and see about catching them highwaymen to endear ourselves to the law. Maybe get on his good side, since McClellan's going to be looking for some revenge.
I think I can put down a few highwaymen.
Probably a bottle or two, some hooch there in it for us.
And with that, I think it's time to draw to an evening. And so as I turn now, I think it looks like there's some sort of a giveaway going on in the chat. Is there any more information from the spirit world? Is someone on that?
Way to date yourself there, James.
Hashtag giveaway. And what are we giving away? A set of Misty Mountain gaming dice.
Ooh.
And when are we giving these dice away?
Nice.
Tonight's the night.
Yeah. I was gonna say Major Owen is what the name he's been going by. It's not his full name, but that's the name that he's used so far. So while we're doing that, folks, do you have a good time tonight?
Absolutely.
Good
Awesome.
It's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
Awesome
It
time.
was a blast.
Oh my!
Okay.
Oh my goodness! This has been so much fun.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You guys are a blast to play with.
No,
and
Skag, his name is not Major Tom. All right. So, we didn't get, because of the slowdown, we didn't get to everything I had intended for the first episode. But we got most of the way through what I'm going, and I can wait for the next little bits. I got to build to it proper like.
Oh, we haven't even derailed you yet. Just
No.
right?
No. No, the software did that for me.
It's
For
true.
you guys.
I want
All
to say
right.
big up to everyone to adapting for rolling the physical dice. That was a great pivot.
Yeah, wow.
I apologize. I was trying to provide ASMR sort of stuff as I moved my microphone close to the die, but I apologize if that messed with the green screen.
I always had my dice tray right here, so that was never going to be a problem. What I lamented is that the green screen that I put up behind me is blocking my actual dice tower, so I couldn't bust that out to actually roll
Clicky
my
clacks,
dice
yeah.
in.
Oh,
But I will have that prepared for next week if I don't get the technical issues worked out in the meantime. I have a couple more things I can try. One of them is screaming at the guys who made the latest update.
That usually works.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That and
will-
turning it on and off again. You know.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that will endear me to them.
I'm excited to now, with my paper full of notes, go back to all of these little bits and pieces that we've learned about each other this episode and say, hey, we're supposed to know that. Let's fill that out. And lots of amazing connections and things to flesh out. So
Yeah.
that'll be
For
fun.
and there's still a lot of connections that have not necessarily been
Exactly. Yeah.
detailed.
True.
That I'm looking forward to digging into. Very, very optimistic of what might come.
I'd like to say thank you to everybody that's here.
Mhm.
Had some pretty
Absolutely.
good turnout tonight.
Yeah,
and
I-
it's been amazing.
I'm really happy with you guys. You did a bunch of stuff, not in the ways I necessarily predicted it would happen, but I had a good time, and I really enjoyed it. The interaction that I saw, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty confident moving forward. I think this is going to be a fun little story. I hope.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to get all creepified on you.
Oh,
But
so
it just
excited.
hasn't happened yet.
We don't even
Yeah.
know. I feel like I thought I knew what Hellgate was, but now I don't think I know what Hellgate is. So I want to know what
The
actual
flowers at the
Hellgate is
beginning was
pointing towards.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah, that was like an edge. I felt an edge of creepiness there
Mhm.
with the flowers. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, then I will turn back to you all and say thanks for tuning in, folks. I've been Cheyenne Wright, your Marshal for this evening. We're going to go quickly right around clockwise, right around the table, but this time we're going to start with down in the bottom corner with Todd Moonbounce. Say goodnight and
good night,
give
all.
them
Todd
your
Moonbounce.
your
At
socials
Todd
and stuff.
Moonbounce on Twitter and Twitch. Come hang out, join the Bounce House, and I can't wait to get back here. I hope to see all of you back here next week as well.
And Bob, they call me Bob Morrow.
Bob, they call me Bob. I don't have a lot of socials, but I would like to use this time to throw out thank you to Randy, who is my first Deadlands GM, and Marshal, Michelle and Rich, who entertained me with a Doomlands OG game around a kitchen table, and then Dodger, who was a big Savageworlds GM that kind of retaught me the ropes for Suede upon the Savage riffs sort of mechanics. So I'm grateful for so many people that I have played with, and I'm so grateful for anyone that has stuck with us through on to this chat. So thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 5:30 PDT.
All right. Jaemison Jem Freeman.
Hey, everybody. I have been Jem Freeman. You can find me on YouTube doing ice cream reviews, gaming reviews, and ukulele covers at Candace the Magnificent. You can find me also on Twitter at Candace the Magnificent, pretty much doing the same stuff. And I tweet at that Candace girl. Shout out to Carl Kiesler, my OG GM. And big ups to Marshal Cheyenne Wright. Fantastic job. Such a great time. This is my
Absolutely.
first time playing Deadlands, and it has been amazing so far. I cannot wait to see what spooks and scares we have in store. Thank you guys for watching.
And lastly, Clayton MacTaggart.
Absolutely. So, guys, once again, it's at Howard_Ryan Gregg on Twitter and Instagram. And you can find me right here on Twitch at Rollin' Bones Ryan. We stream every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central, talking about RPGs, usually with a guest of some sort. So check that out, and then also bring it right back here on next Wednesday to continue the adventures here in the Weird West.
All right. And again, I've been Cheyenne Wright. You can follow me on Twitter at Cheyenne Wright. Very complicated. Or you can take a look at all the mighty fine other art pieces that I've done over the years on my website, www.arcanetimes.com. Or lastly, you can read the webcomic that I produced with Phil and Kaya Folio of the Magic the Gathering fame. The comic is called Girl Genius. It's a steampunk adventure that's been running for 20 years, and I've illustrated about 17 to 18 years of that as the colorist. New volumes go out every year. New pages go up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can read them all online for free at girlgeniusonline.com.
And it's only won Hugo Awards, so
it's only won 3 of them. Yes.
yeah. Check it out. Oh my goodness.
And with that, I want to say thanks for tuning in and see you next week.